how the Israeli-Palestinian conflict started, how Palestinians were expelled from their homes. It has displaced millions of people, and its future lies in its past. One of the oldest and most contentious conflicts in the world is the Israeli-Palestinian one. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict is a story of shattered dreams, contentious narratives, and a shared homeland divided by a complex web of historical events that started long before the establishment of the State of Israel. But it is so much more complicated than that, with seemingly every fact and historical detail, small and large, prosecuted by the two sides and their defenders. How did the Israeli-Palestinian conflict begin? Imagine a land where history has made its way into the very soil, and where the tale of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict began with a series of events that would forever alter the destiny of two peoples. The same land is sought by both Israeli Jews and Palestinian Arabs. Finding a compromise has also proven to be difficult. The only Jewish state in the world, Israel, is located east of the Mediterranean Sea. Arab residents of the area that Israel currently occupies, who call themselves Palestinians, seek to create a state called Palestine on all or a portion of the same territory. Who gets to own what land and how it is administered are at the heart of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. While the current political struggle dates back to the early 20th century, both Jews and Arab Muslims date their claims to the region back many thousand years. Jews who had fled persecution in Europe sought to create a national homeland in the Ottoman and later British Empire, which at the time had a predominantly Arab and Muslim population. The Arabs resisted because they believed they had a title to the land. Israel and the neighboring Arab countries fought multiple conflicts over the territory after an early United Nations plan to divide the land among the groups failed. What was Israel before 1948, and what was the Balfour Declaration? Britain took control of the area known as Palestine following the defeat of the Ottoman Empire, which ruled that part of the Middle East in World War I. A Jewish minority, Arab majority, and other smaller ethnic groups inhabited the land. When the international world tasked the UK with creating a national home in Palestine for Jews, tensions between the two peoples rose. This stemmed from the Balfour Declaration of 1917, a pledge then Foreign Secretary Arthur Balfour made to Britain's Jewish community. The declaration was enshrined in the British Mandate over Palestine and endorsed by the newly created League of Nations, the forerunner of the United Nations, in 1922. To Jews, Palestine was their ancestral home, but Palestinian Arabs claimed the land and opposed the move. The borders of today are essentially the results of two conflicts, one fought in 1948 and the second in 1967. The West Bank is currently occupied by Israel and has nominal Palestinian Authority sovereignty. Israeli settlers, who are Jews, construct ever-expanding enclaves in the West Bank that essentially deny Palestinians access to the land. Israeli military enforces Israeli security restrictions on Palestinian movement and activity. The Israeli blockade of Gaza, which is not occupied by ground forces, is under the control of the Islamist fundamentalist group Hamas. To understand the Israeli-Palestinian conflict's roots is to embark on a journey through time, where we uncover the painful chapters of history that led to the expulsion of Palestinians from their homes. Gaza is a tightly populated region that is nearly entirely encircled by Israel and home to Palestinians. Israel used to be there militarily, but unilaterally left in 2005. Currently, Israel has blocked access to it. The sporadic rocket fire that's hit Israel from there since its pullback has strengthened Israeli Hawks' political position, as they have long argued that any Palestinian state would end up serving as a launching pad for attacks on Israel. Gaza was under Egyptian authority until the Six-Day War in 1967, when Israel annexed it, together with the West Bank. Jews were allowed to establish themselves there up until 2005, when Israeli military authorities took over Gaza in a similar manner to how they took over the West Bank. Israeli troops and settlers were unilaterally withdrawn from their country in 2005 by then Israeli Prime Minister Ariel Sharon. The Islamist organization Hamas, which was founded in 1987 as a militant resistance force against Israel and won governmental control in a 2006 US-based election, is in charge of Gaza. Due to the possibility that Hamas could utilize those commodities to produce weapons to be used against Israel, Israel blocked the entry of commercial goods into Gaza after Hamas took control of the territory. What's the situation in Gaza now? A humanitarian crisis in Gaza is rapidly spiraling amid warnings that people are at risk of starvation as Israel tightens its chokehold on the territory. It should be emphasized that the Gaza Strip, with its 2 million inhabitants jammed into a 140-square-mile region, is one of the world's most densely inhabited areas, with some 2 million people crammed in a 140-square-mile territory. The enclave lies on Egypt's western border and has been blocked since Hamas seized control in 2007. The Israeli air, naval, and land blockade on the territory and the Egyptian land blockade continue today. The enclave's only power station stopped working. Hospitals are expected to run out of fuel, with the International Committee of the Red Cross warning that they risk turning into morgues as they lose power. According to the UN, airstrikes have hit at least 88 education facilities and killed at least 12 UN personnel. How does the world feel about Israel-Palestine? Although most non-Muslim nations disagree with Israel's treatment of the Palestinian people and its ongoing occupation of the West Bank, they do recognize Israel's legitimacy and have diplomatic relations with it. Global public opinion is considerably more sympathetic to the Palestinian cause, which makes Israelis seriously concerned that the BDS international boycott campaign may gain some traction. Israel is quite unpopular all throughout the world. Israel ranked 4th in a BBC poll of 22 nations for dislike, only after Iran, Pakistan, and North Korea. It's clear that West Bank settlements are a key cause of Israel's poor global standing. Most of the world believes that Israel's continued control of the West Bank is an unlawful military occupation, and that settlements violate the Fourth Geneva Convention. Amid the chaos of war, hundreds of thousands of Palestinians fled or were forcibly displaced from their homes, creating a refugee issue that endures to this day. The BDS movement, which merged in 2005, aims to capitalize on international anger with Israel. The movement's strategy is to create costs to Israel's Palestinian policy through boycotts of Israeli goods and institutions, divestment from Israeli companies, and sanctions on the nation itself. The Palestinian people's right to self-determination and statehood is acknowledged by many nations and international organizations. Many Middle Eastern nations, including Iran, have been outspoken supporters of Palestinian rights and occasionally give money to Palestinian organizations. What are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments section below. For more videos like these, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon to be always updated with the latest news as soon as it's uploaded. Thanks for watching.